everyone, and welcome to the Mayor's Minute. I'm Jill Fraley-Dotson, Economic Development Director for the City of Pikeville, along with Pikeville Mayor Jimmy Carter in our commission room at City Hall. Hey, Mayor, good day.
Hey, good day to you, and good to see you again, and good to be back.
Absolutely. We have a lot of exciting things to talk about as we have begun to reopen a lot of city services and plan for some events within reason,
right,
I think we should say. So we're going to talk about a lot of different things today, but first and foremost, I know you just want to talk about how thankful you are to be able to reopen City Hall and to reopen city services, business as usual within the city with a few modifications, but also our parks and playgrounds are open.
Yeah, you know, getting City Hall back open, I think, was one of the instrumental things of being able to try to get back to some kind of normalcy for our employees and for the residents. But taking that another step forward, I think with that, you've got people are not sure if they want to come in, but I think what the lesson learned during the whole pandemic, and it's still going on, is how much services that can be done at home on the internet. You can pay your bill by that, and you can do a lot of stuff by phone, or you can just mail it in. So if you don't really need to come in, don't come in. Don't feel like you have to come in just because we're open. But those services are still available. The
services are available, and I think you're exactly right, that this has given us an opportunity to really examine the way that we do business with not only with bill pay, like you mentioned, in utility services, but also people who are wanting to open businesses can now obtain their business license online and speaking with our tax administrator by phone and then getting all that set up. It really has streamlined the process of doing business. And like you said, a lot of people are still not overly comfortable with getting out and seeing people face to face and going in places where people, there might be a lot of traffic during the day. So having that offering to do our services online is really, really beneficial for our community members and for people who are wanting to move into our area, which seems to be a growing trend right now.
It is, and just talking with you before we went on air about all the different businesses that are trying to come into town right now. That gives another opportunity to get those services to those people that don't have to come in if they don't really want to.
Absolutely. We do ask those people, though, that are wanting to come into City Hall to remain socially distant, and there are markers throughout City Hall of where you need to be if there are other people within the building, and also to wear your mask.
Right.
And if you don't have one, those are available at the front door of City Hall for you, so just pick one of those up as you conduct your business throughout the day. One of the things that over the last 2 or 3 months that we have seen kind of decline and then pick up a little bit when people started to get out and get moving again are our police and fire services. But I know that you always want to give credit to our police and our first responders because they really have done a tremendous job during this pandemic.
You know, again, with everything that went on and just getting ready to, they weren't being seen a whole lot when the pandemic started, and because we didn't know what to expect about traffic stops and accidents and that type of thing on how to react on that. They've all done such a great job and stayed healthy. It's just really nice to see what kind of job they did. And again, I can't give enough credit to all those guys. And with all the protests that are going on in the United States right now, our police force is one of the best in the country, and I know that. I see the training they go through, and I just happened to read some updates to our policy that we're going to be going over tonight in the commission meeting. And that's how they stay on top of things. They want to stay on top of things, and they understand the importance of treating people the way they need to be treated.
Yeah, they're the men and women that are on our police force and of our first responders for the fire department and EMS too. It's just amazing the pride that they take and the training that they go through to make sure they're doing their job correctly.
And how much respect the community has for them it's just very heartwarming. I talk to so many people about what a great job they do, and I get little notes all the time from people of stuff they go out of their way to do to make people feel better or just help out when times are needed, stranded on the side of the road or whatever the case may be. There's just numerous things I've seen in the past few months that's just been very heartwarming.
Very proud of them. We've talked about a lot of things in the last couple times that we've met that are, not not very exciting, I should say, because we've had to literally shut everything down.
Right.
But as we get on, hopefully on the other side of this and begin to reopen, one of the big things that people have been talking about is the Overlook Event Center, where the Overlook is. It's on top of Bob Amos Park, and it's complete. And there's just a few little tweaks and minor checklists that have to be gone over. But the first event there will be on July 2nd. So some community members will be able to actually see the inside of that beautiful space.
And I think when they do, they're going to be one of those aha moments,
Yeah.
because the building itself is just phenomenal. And then you turn around and look out the window and just see.
And it's magnified.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
What it looks like, and what a great job everybody's done on getting this thing to where it is today. It's going to be something else.
It really is, and we're excited for people to finally get inside and see what it is. And I know within July we're going to be doing a couple of different video pieces from there to really show everyone how phenomenal it is. And that gate will soon be lowered, and you'll be able to drive up there. So just a few more days before we can welcome everybody in. But we're all eager with anticipation. And I must mention too, if you want to book that facility for a shower, a wedding, a meeting, you can contact Andrea Collins at the Appalachian Wireless Arena. She can set you up and book you an appointment.
She's booked a lot.
She has.
And unfortunately had to cancel because of this. But I don't think that's going to deter it from here on out. I think they've got a plan in place. They can take care of all your needs, food, beverage, everything right there on the spot. So it's going to be pretty fantastic.
It is. I can't. I've jokingly said if people lose me during the day, that I'll be up at the event center, taking in the view.
Space
That's right. Taking in the view, making sure everything's okay. Another thing is we talk about Bob Amos when you go up the hill, the Y Hill, or as we refer to it, Hatfield McCoy Stables. Open for trail rides, open for pony rides. They're giving lessons, and you can also rent a kayak there.
Yeah, that's it's back getting into some kind of normal now. So I think that's very important, and they do a great job. It's still kind of, every time I go up that way and I go up to the event center, whatever, you'll pass a horse here and there, and it's pretty neat. But don't let that deter you. They know, those horses know that the car's around, so it's no big deal.
They do.
Yeah,
they absolutely do.
But they do a great job, and be sure to take advantage of what they've got to offer, and the pricing is just right for all that.
It absolutely is. And as we look into, we're right in the middle of tourism season. It looks a little different than this year than it has in the past, but the river looks great.
Oh, it does.
I can tell you the river looks wonderful, and you can go rent the kayaks there. They'll put you in the water, take an 8-hour, a 6-hour, 4-hour, 2-hour trip down the Levisa Fork, and just really get away for a bit. And they do a phenomenal job with those adventures, and it's one of the prettiest views that you'll see as you travel through, especially with all the foliage being in now.
And if you're a local and have not floated the river, you won't even recognize where you are. I mean, you won't know where you are half the time when you're going down the river, because it's just so beautiful, and it's just gorgeous, and you don't hear all the noise and the traffic. It's just pretty serene.
You really don't. It is so serene. And I say all the time that when you live here, like we do, a lot of times, you forget to take advantage of what's in your own backyard. But this year, with things being different, as we've said, a lot of people are wanting to stay closer to home and take advantage of what we have to offer, not only horseback riding, but the trails at Bob Amos. You can get on the river, or you could tour Hatfield McCoy sites if you just get in your car and drive around. There's a lot of different things that you can do, and certainly we want to encourage our local residents to get out and do that, but welcome in our guests from around the region and downstate, as we like to say, that are coming into our area.
And I feel like we're going to have a lot of those this summer, because it's going to be staycation, I think, is what it's going to be this year. And so I think we're going to have a lot more visitors than normal.
I think so. I'm going to back up just for a second and talk about some projects that we have that have been ongoing through this, and work is still being done. And one of those projects that we have talked a lot about with you and with City Manager Philip Ellswick, and of course with Jimmy Taylor too, is our 2nd Street Streetscape project that is going to kind of give a different look to 2nd Street and the businesses there. So we want to just update everybody on that project and kind of let them know what's going on with that.
Well, I had a meeting, I think it was day before yesterday, on how we're coming along with that and update on everything. And as Philip says, I know he knows it's one of my pet projects to get this started. So I think we might have found the funding to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to put him on the spot a little bit. But for probably from Division to Caroline, I think, is going to be the first section. And it really looks great on paper. If you like what the app looks like in their courtyard area, it's going to be very similar to that. You know, we'll be taking up all the asphalt in the street. It'll all be pavers.
Yeah.
Everything will be pavers, and we're going to bump out some sidewalks in a couple of places to give some widening of some areas to where we can put tables and chairs. We're going to also decided that we'll put a different color of brick where the parking spaces are. So there won't be any striping, but it'll be a darker brick pattern where the parking spaces are. So if we wanted to bump that out as well and put tables and stuff in there at different times, we can. There's also another advantage to this is, you know, there was talk that we were going to shut the streets down, and which, you know, might have worked, might not, but we came up with a better idea. We'll have positions on Caroline and Grace and Division that we can put ballards in. So if we're having events down there, that will keep the traffic out. Not that we'll keep it closed all the time, but just for certain events. So you don't have to have the barricades and all that kind of thing out there. Just some ballards that go in there to stop the flow of the traffic.
Yeah, as you mentioned, what it looks like on paper and the renderings that we've seen really are beautiful. And when you travel around and look at some ideas that some other communities have adopted and differences that they have made, it really, our 2nd Street is perfect for those changes. And I think once people see what those changes are, they're going to be pleasantly surprised. And with the businesses that are on 2nd Street, it's just going to be one more opportunity for people to park and walk and kind of meander through our 2nd Street and our Central Business District to see what we have to offer. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful project. So we're happy and thankful now that we can get started with that. Another thing that we've been working on diligently throughout this process, and thankfully a lot of it could be done online with emails with our consultants, is our comprehensive plan. We had 900 surveys received that gave some great information.
It's talking to the group that did that day before yesterday was a different kind of meeting, but excuse me, is that 900 responses that just blew them away.
Yeah.
Most of the time they figured we'd get 50 or less would be what the normal would be for a reaction. So that just tells you how our area responds to what they want to see in the city of Pikeville and what they expect from us. And that is great information to have when we're going to start taking it to the next level in this next 10-year comprehensive plan.
Yeah, I'm working closely myself with that group of people that are developing our plan, and they were, like you said, they were blown away by the number of responses that we got, and we got so many candid responses, and that's exactly what we want.
Right.
You know, we want, you know, I say all the time, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. You got to take it all into consideration if you want to move forward with anything. And our consultants were just really pleased with the responses that we got, so they can put that into the plan. And of course, they're going to come back, hopefully when all the travel restrictions are completely lifted, probably in August sometime, to have a series of charrettes that our community can be involved in. We want to encourage everybody to keep watching the local media, radio, newspaper, television, so we can let them know when those charrettes are going to be, because we really, really want the community's input.
Absolutely, and like I said, that just makes everything come together when you got the community, and those ideas, like you said, were all very solid. Mm-hmm. I've been through a couple of these now, and the first one we did, I mean, you were way out here, but it's all come a little tighter now, and to see what everybody really wants and what we need. Mm-hmm. And that just makes it, I say, a little easier for us if we can find funding for some of this stuff. Mm-hmm. But it just makes it a little bit easier for us to figure out what the people want, and that's what we're going to try to do.
You know, I've heard you say before, like you said, you've been through a couple of these plans before, and it's amazing to me to see maybe what the plan was 10 years ago and to see how we're able to check boxes off of a lot of those suggestions that came from that plan, that a lot of projects now are here and we're wanting to move forward.
Well, I think the last one that's just finishing up right now was in the 90 percentile range of everything that we went after, and the one before that was 95 or better. So it's pretty impressive to see that we can set out to do something and the plan is there and work the plan and make it happen.
Absolutely. Let's talk about some events. We're excited
Very excited
to open back up and get out and to have some events. And the first event's going to take place on July 3rd. It is going to be the first time that Main Street Live has been held all summer, and we're excited about that. It will look different, but we are excited nonetheless.
It will look different, but I tell you, the guys at the arena, they have got it figured out to make everyone as safe as possible. And I know people are chomping at the bit to get out and enjoy the afternoons and evenings like we used to every other Friday during the summer. So I look for a big response and a big crowd, and if it is, we'll take care of it. I think we've got a plan to make it happen and keep everybody safe.
Yeah, I was speaking to Larry Miller, and he was telling me that they have they're positioning the tables to be in groups of 50 in different locations on the plaza itself, and we're going to shut down Main Street to allow for the social distancing guidelines. There's going to be 3 different drink stations or bars that you can attend, and then 3 different areas of food that you can purchase, obviously, from the arena, but really just maintaining social distancing. And as we go forward, that's what we ask of our community. We're going to be able to open back up and have a few things, but that's all contingent upon people following the guidelines.
Right, and spoke with the state and the health department and with Rocky Atkins, and he told me, he said, if you're keeping your social distancing specifically about Main Street Live would be, keep your social distancing. Mask may not be that, you may not have to do the mask thing. So we're going to make sure that we can say that when the time comes, but if everybody will keep their social distancing and in your pods, maybe have the people that are in your family in most of those to where we already know that, you're safe. So there may be some questions asked of you as you come in and out and that type of thing. And you may be asked to move and all that. So just be patient with us until we work through it. And I'm sure everybody will have a great time. Yeah,
Larry and Josh and Paul and the gang have been working on the bands that are going to be here. Some of those bands are familiar to us, but they're going to be performing on our newly named Mountaintop Media stage. So that's going to look a little different. But I'm telling you, they've got a whole list of really, really good people coming in that are going to provide a lot of fun for families and people who want to get outdoors. But just like I say to my daughter all the time, you just have to behave.
That's right.
That's what we have to do. We just have to behave and have good manners and watch what we're doing. But that's going to be on July 3rd. So we're really excited to have Main Street Live as an offering downtown again. And likewise, July 4th, is always a big event in the city of Pikeville. We pride ourselves in having the biggest and best firework display around the area. And we're going to do that again this year, but there won't be any activities in the park and down Main Street because it's just hard to social distance and maintain crowds that way. But you can still stay in your car and watch those, or stand outside your car as long as you're maintaining social distancing with your family. But we're excited about the fireworks.
Not that the park will be closed down, but just if you are in the park, if you do come to the park and come downtown to watch the fireworks, please keep your social distancing and all that. So, and try to stay within your family group.
Yeah, just behave. That's all we ask. That's all we ask. The one event that we have had to cancel for the year is drag racing, and that's a big event that people love to come to. But because of the governor's guidance for social distancing, that's just one of those things that we have not been able to figure out how to do effectively. So that for the year has been canceled, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to have other things that people can participate in.
And I guarantee you that Andy and Jimmy and all the gang there will figure it out, and they'll have some good stuff. I've heard some rumors of a few things, so I got confidence that they're going to come up with some good stuff.
What I can tell everybody is just to make sure that, there might not be some things that we can talk about right now, but as we go forward, make sure you pick up the paper, stay on social media with us, listen to your local radio stations, because we will be announcing a lot of things coming up. We just have to make sure that we are compliant with what we are asked to do as a city government. But I'll tell you, Appalachian Center for the Arts, Robin and Eric and their staff there are doing a great job. And of course, we can't have those gatherings in the facility right now, but they are doing virtual Broadway boot camp, which I think is a really cool thing that they're initiating.
My granddaughter is participating in that, and she is loving it.
Yeah.
So it works, and it's working. There's a big group of them evidently that's doing it. So, so she's got her plans and telling me everything she's doing. But it's pretty good how they put all that together in a short period of time and to make it work. It's pretty cool.
I think it's this whole time has really challenged all of us in different ways on coming up with ways that we can still have the boot camps that they do at the app and events at the arena, and even how we work with our Main Street organization to make sure we still are able to have events downtown going forward, how we locate businesses in downtown and talk with people. It's given us an opportunity to really think outside our box just a little bit to make sure that we're still offering everything we can. And I think it's a challenge that has been well received and accepted, and we're making a lot of strides in making sure everybody has things that they can participate in.
I believe that as well. I mean, I think the city as a whole has done a really good job to reach out to these businesses, these small businesses especially, to see what we can do to help them. And if there's anything that you all can think of that we can do to help, please let Jill or anybody know what we might be able to do. Not that we can do everything, but you never know.
You never know. That's exactly right. You never know. As we go forward, like we talk about a lot of projects, I think about Kentucky Enterprise Industrial Park and how the secondary road, which will become the main entrance eventually, is almost complete and is on schedule to be completed this fall, which is really exciting. I was up there last week, and it's amazing to me the work that they have done in the short amount of time, that they've had to do it in. It's just going to be a remarkable road, get you up there a whole lot easier.
And quicker.
Than what it does now.
Right.
But when you get to the top of that road, just to the left of it, we're working on our second spec building that's there, a 60,000 square foot space that's going to be ready for a business to locate in. And they haven't slowed down. I mean, every week that I'm up there, I see tremendous progress.
My understanding is the road, well, first of all, back to the road just for a minute, is a good note to make, is that it's coming in under budget, my understanding. and ahead of schedule. Which is, you can't hardly say those two words in the same sentence sometimes. And then the spec building is way ahead of schedule, I understand. And coming out of the ground, great. So we're very excited about that, and hopefully we'll have somebody to announce real soon.
We certainly hope so. And I've told everybody, people ask about it. I'm like, we never anticipated that the pandemic was going to hit. We could never have prepared for it. But coming out of it, I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised with the interest that is in the park and the interest that I've seen of people just wanting to maybe relocate or kind of get the feel of things. So I don't anticipate it being empty for very long once it gets built, if not before it's finished. Yes. I do want to give a little bit of an economic development update, and I know you and I have talked over the last couple of weeks that my office, the Economic Development Office, and of course our Main Street office too, which handles the specific downtown area, has been inundated with phone calls of people wanting to locate businesses or relocate businesses within the city of Pikeville. It has really blown me away because, we all got nervous in the beginning. I think everybody did about, some businesses just didn't make it. And that's really unfortunate. But what we have seen in the last couple of weeks has just been mind-blowing.
Yeah, I mean, some of the calls that y'all saying you're getting and the inquiries, and it's different kind of businesses that we've really not experienced. So maybe this is a trend that's hopefully it's going to be a very positive once everything does get back to normal. And the way it sounds, these people are wanting to move pretty quick. A lot of them are. So as quick as we can get them in here, we'd love to.
Yeah, quicker than what we're accustomed to.
Right.
I will say that. But that is a good thing. And, you know, I had one day recently where, you know, I got a call at, say, 9 o'clock one morning. And that day, as it went on, we had 2 or 3 buildings all over the city, not just downtown, that were inquired about multiple times, were shown multiple times. And it's just really refreshing to see that people are really optimistic about businesses going forward and what they want to do. I think, you know, you're really scared or you're really optimistic. But a lot of people are finding that they want to be self-sufficient. They want that own in-charge business that they can provide for their family for. And you know, there's such a resurgence of shopping local. There
Yes.
really is, and supporting the people that are in your community that have these businesses, whether it be curbside pickup, takeout, you know, ordering and having your food catered, which is something else our arena does through Elite Catering. It really is refreshing for a bit to see that there is such an interest in businesses opening up specifically downtown.
Well, we're looking forward to it.
We
to
are.
get everybody going.
We certainly are. The last thing I'll mention that we want to remind everybody of is pikevilleky.gov is where you can pay your utilities online, your taxes. You can seek those business licenses. And if you have any questions about services that we provide or anything going on within the city, please go to pikevilleky.gov to make sure you visit and see what we have to offer there.
And I think, like we talked at the beginning of the show, that's maybe the coming wave of how you're going to take care of business in the city now. And we're all about it, and we're all for it, and let's do it.
Yeah, we are still doing our commission meetings virtually. So hopefully in the month of July, we'll be able to invite the community back in. But for now, we're doing that on live stream with the help of Pike TV. And you can watch on live stream, submit questions during the Business from the Floor segment. So just make sure that that you're able to log on and watch. And hopefully in July, we can announce that we can have people back in City Hall and do that.
Looking forward to that as well.
I know you are. Looking forward to having more people in our commission room. And visit Pikeville.com. Jimmy Taylor works really hard on that website and our app. Also, the Visit Pikeville app. You can reserve spaces that we have within the city, all of our event centers and shelters, and of course, find out everything that you can do within the city of Pikeville. It's a good time.
Yes.
Jimmy Carter, Mayor of Pikeville, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Jill.
This has been the Mayor's Minute. Thank you so much for joining us.